What's good? Santi back with another video. It's been a few days since I made one because I've been working on a lot of stuff, man, and I gotta make sure I don't get burned out. You feel me? But what I wanted to talk about was semen retention and karmic debt. You know, as I've spoken on in previous videos, karmic debt, as it is tied to like semen retention, as you're going through that process of abstaining, it's a lot of intense emotions that's going to come to the surface. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those emotions can be tied to situations in the past that you haven't processed on an emotional level. You know what I'm saying? And, because of these choices, you got to understand decisions and actions have energetic implications. Feel me? Even when you walk, you're walking and stepping into an environment has an energetic implication. You are activating forces that you cannot see. You feel me? So situations, just like the body and statements that you make, everything carries a vibration, everything carries an energy. So situations carry an energy. When I came across the word karmic debt, because of my level of awareness, just my own wisdom, I could already tell what it is before even having read into it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you keep going through an experience over and over again and you don't learn from it, you're not becoming aware of how that situation is affecting the people around you and ultimately affecting you, then you put yourself in a position to keep experiencing it over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And so karmic debt has many different levels to it, you feel me? Like, it's got many different levels to it because, like for instance, if you get older, there's a girl that I know, and her homie, he's an acquaintance at this point because he's upset with some things that I said about his quote unquote baby mama that some other female told him, right? But this female told him those things because she's upset with me because I don't talk to her anymore. You feel me? The only reason why I don't talk with her anymore is because she's low frequency. You feel me? Now, when I said those things, it was things that I already said to him anyway, and I already cleared the air with him. But it just shows his level of intelligence. He has a low level of intelligence, a low level of awareness, and he doesn't listen. But one thing that I told her sometime early last year, I told him, I said, he has karmic debt with me. You can have karmic debt with a person. You know what I'm saying? A person, you could have a friend who is always there for you, bailing you out of situations that you put yourself in. On this journey, you got to be aware of people who just won't ever get the knowledge. They won't ever get it. You know what I'm saying? And all of this time and effort and energy that you put into maintaining a relationship because you care, because you're loyal, because you recognize a bond and you recognize the journey between you and that person, sometimes you have to cut those bonds so that you won't find yourself absorbing the energy of their situations and them negatively affecting your reality. Because on your journey, where you have your own karmic debt, or you recognize that you have had certain experiences that you have to heal from, certain people around you can keep you in that state where you never move beyond that energy. You never release it. And I addressed him and I told him, I said, bro, you got to understand how with you dealing with that woman, how it affected everybody around you, even your family that you don't seem to understand. But he was never a man about it. He was never a man about it. He didn't stand up and speak for himself and defend himself and really stand on the decision that he made. He allowed himself, he lost 10 years of his life to a woman. You feel me? And me being your homie and stuff like that, I'm not supposed to feel some type of way about it each time you contacted me and never took my advice. You were worrying and stressing over a woman and forgot your own purpose and still are not living in your purpose. But I'm not supposed to feel any type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? When all of the knowledge that I gave you and all of the information that I gave you was to get you back to that point where you could believe yourself and trust yourself. But at the same time, one of the things that I told him, and that I would always say, I'm like, look, I can't tell you what you can or cannot do. You know what I'm saying? You have to trust yourself in the situation. However, if you feel that inclination to walk away, walk away. There's certain things that you as a man should not have to go through to try to gain somebody's love or to get them to respect you. You feel me? And so I had to find out from somebody else that he claimed that he don't want to fuck with me no more, but he didn't address me about the situation though. He didn't come to me as a man. But want to slick this on social media and stuff and be like, oh, you know, real recognize real, and it's always the ones that's closest to you that shit on you. I'm like, first of all, bro, I've achieved more in my life than you ever have and you probably ever will. Okay? So I have no desire to shit on you. You are not somebody that I aspire to be or would have any type of personality characteristics that I would want to adopt. You don't inspire me to make change. If anything, you inspire me to be true to myself. I will speak what I need to say and say what I need to speak in any given situation. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I know that I'm an influencer. You know? But see, I've made it through circumstances in life where when it came to him, it was slowly taking away his soul. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that he's karmic. He has a karmic debt with me that he has to fulfill. And I told this girl that because any problem that I had with her, I let her know. I understand that they were younger when they got together and things like that. You know? But he is the example of a simp. I hate to put it that way, but that's just what it is. When you go into these channels and you in the red pill community talks about simps and blue pill, you know what I'm saying? He is a simp. And another guy I know, one of my bros, you know, he was just like, he claims, and he put it in my head, and I was like, you know, I didn't even think about that. Saying that he probably got his girl pregnant and had a child from her so that he could try to trap her or keep her. I was like, man, hey, you know, that's an idea. You know? And so, when you look at guys who never get to a point where they work on themselves and focus on themselves and have to make the hard decision to walk away from a woman because she's just not good for you. There's certain things that you should not ever have to go through to attain someone's love and their respect. You know, men are out here losing their souls over women, losing their life, bro. You know, and I said this in a previous video, there's men out here dying and putting their lives on the line just for a woman, just to have sex, just on the basis of traumatic attachment, what they call a trauma bond. You know what I'm saying? And misrecognizing it as love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really problematic. I was almost in that position, but I broke away and that shit was painful. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things in this life that that everybody has to experience and you can't run from it. But the day that you run from it, the day that you suppress it, you're building a debt. If you don't if you don't take the time to assess the situation and meditate and reflect on it and go inward and understand, hey, I'm learning a life lesson. I'm learning a lesson on my soul journey that is meant to propel me to the next level and also gain a greater understanding of this world so that I can achieve what I need to achieve by taking the knowledge and wisdom out of the situation and using it to propel me forward. You know what I'm saying? And so with semen retention, what you have to understand is that, as I pointed out before, there's a lot of emotions that's coming to the surface. There's a lot of energy that you're dealing with. There's a lot of energy being harnessed in the body. It's a power. It's a creative force, and it's also a destructive force when mismanaged. were misdirected. You know what I'm saying? And so people have karmic debts. People that have karmic debts, you know, to individuals, and you have to be aware of the type of individuals that you're dealing with friendship wise, especially with individuals who do, you know, root work, deal with the ancestors, you know what I'm saying? Delve into the dark arts and what they call a cult, which I get tired of that terminology anyway, but that's Western terminology. That's Western terminology. But those individuals of the community that are, you know, of the spiritual community, that are mediums and psychics and seers and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? They deal with, you know, energy work, you know, such as like Reiki, you know what I'm saying? Or I think there's one called EFT, which I think deals with the body, with tapping areas, focusing on areas where there's pain and tapping in it, speaking to it and releasing that pain. And chakra work is another form of that work. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has some form of traumas now. There's some people that will go as far as saying everybody's toxic. That's not your place to speak, but we can say that a lot of people have trauma. A lot of people have experiences that their body and their cells have held on to. Now, what you got to understand is that with the fact that we're energetic beings, and situations and people and experiences have a vibratory frequency. Your body holds memory of the experiences that you have. So, you know, when you come across the idea of repairing your DNA and healing yourself on a cellular level, it's because there are traumatic experiences that the emotional repercussions from that, the emotions that you feel in your body are painful. Like your body, like some people experience quote unquote what they call heartbreak, and they're in pain. Their body's in pain. Their chest is in pain. You know what I'm saying? They have anxiety and separation anxiety and stuff. That, you know, feelings in their body when a relationship ends and you can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? And all you're doing is thinking about that person. You know. Now I know how that is because I was younger then when I experienced that. You know, but we're talking about real life situations. But in regards to semen retention, you know, as I've said before, when you're dealing with the energy, it's going to require you to make changes in your life because you can no longer relate to the world or cohabitate the way that you were doing that made that practice of engaging in so much, you know, PMO. You can't allow that. You can't live a lifestyle in a way where that practice is suitable. You feel me? Like you gotta be more physically active. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do energy work. You gotta do that shadow work and delve into your darkness. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't do that. So they end up not evolving and achieving a certain level of life and attaining their highest potential. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't dealt with the energy of certain situations from their past that is still in their body. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these things come to the surface when you practice in semen retention. If you've been doing that shit for 10, 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Because you've used it as a coping mechanism. So you're going to have emotions that are suppressed in your being and they come into the surface. So it's a tumultuous experience for some people. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk about karmic debt. You know what I'm saying? Like experience life, but be careful. Be careful if you are a man. Be careful with the type of woman that you choose. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow yourself to be so misled by your sexual desire that you risk everything that you hold dear, even your soul. Because I've seen guys literally throw their life away. Because the dude I was talking about, he lost 10 years of his life that he could never get back. He can feel how he can feel how he feel about me all day, about what I quote unquote said. You know what I'm saying? But I had to recognize within myself that watching him go through that experience had a much greater impact on me than what I realized. But I had a feeling in my heart that I couldn't shake anymore. And he don't have to fuck with me anymore. But see, anytime I say, and I've stood by this, anytime I say something about behind somebody behind their back, anytime I say anything about a person behind their back, it's something that I can say to their face. We had a 5-hour conversation. where he had another situation with a girl. And I told him before going into that situation, I was like, bro, you cannot approach this the same way that you did with your baby mama. I said, we shifting in a time when you gotta face everything that you've been suppressing. If you don't face it, you're gonna go through it again. And that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? So cause when you deal with that karmic debt and you free yourself, then you can go and do what you gotta do and manifest what you want to manifest. Because now you at peace with yourself. You align with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want me to go into more detail about karmic debt and break that down, you know what I'm saying? Comment on the video. You know what I'm saying? Because that's tied to attaining your spiritual freedom, but you gotta be active. You gotta be engaged. You gotta be focused. You know what I'm saying? You gotta trust yourself into shedding that old way of living away and really living in your highest meanings. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. You know, I've got more coming. I got more comments, so yeah. You know, remember your soul, honor your soul. And for those highly melanated beings and anybody else that's not, non-melanated, that's in touch with the earth, that's in tune with the universe, remember your ancestors, the good and the bad. Love. Salud.